Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened.
There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Good night and good luck.
Hey everybody, I'm just come in from trying to retrieve a cat out in the icy spring rain of Tallahassee, Florida, which shockingly we can actually get, it actually gets miserable here in the spring. First the pollen, then the rain, then the oven-like heat from the hinges of hell. Anyway, so you'll pardon the barber jacket and the sweatshirt for this one. I'm not formally attired for your viewing pleasure. There's an elephant in the room this week, and it's a big one, and it's probably the most pendant sign of the constitutional crisis that America finds itself in right now. And the elephant in the room this week is law and disorder. What do I mean by law and disorder? I mean that one of the fundamental tenets of American constitutional democracy, of this fine republic that has lasted for almost 250 years, is that the law matters and that no man is above the law. And no American president has ever believed that he was above the law until now. And that one man that believes that is Donald Trump. You've seen Donald Trump this week attacking the courts with a fervor that is unmatched by any president in history. You know, every president grumbles occasionally when a decision goes against him. That happens. But for most of our American history, we have said that the Constitution, which is explicitly laid out, a tripartite system of government with an executive, legislative, and judicial branch, is a model that works to protect liberty, to protect rights, to interpret executive and legislative action for its validity in a constitutional order. Donald Trump does not want that. Donald Trump does not want that at all. You are seeing right now the branding of federal judges who have disagreed with Donald and Elon as radicals, as activists, as unelected bureaucratic activists and unelected judicial activists. It's a great line, but federal judges aren't elected anyway. It's like saying you're a bipedal human. Federal judges are not elected, they are appointed. And Donald Trump has appointed many of them. And some of his own judges are saying, nah, boss, bridge too far. Some bosses nominated by that radical left-wing progressive Antifa leader, George W. Bush, are saying, nah, bro, too far. Some of them appointed by equally radical, far-left progressive neo-communist leader, George Herbert Walker Bush, my old boss, are saying, nah, bro, bridge too far. Some even appointed by Ronald Reagan, Fidel Castro's best friend and holder of the Red Banner, Caesar of the means of production, deep state commie Ronald Reagan. You remember him, right? Some of his judges that he appointed are still on the bench, and they're saying, nah, bro, too far. The crisis we are approaching right now is twofold. One, Donald Trump is trying to delegitimize any legal ruling that goes against him. This is not a republic when you have that situation. It's not a country governed by the Constitution or the rule of law when you have that situation. At that point, you're at the doorstep of a fascist system. You're at the doorstep of an authoritarian system. They're attacking the judges on Fox and on social media. You see Elon Musk over and over and over and over and over again. They must be impeached and removed. We have to get rid of these judges. You know, this is a little, Beckett, who will rid me of this troublesome priest going on here, guys. And I have to say this, and I don't want to call by naming, but I'm watching the tonality on conservative and MAGA, it's not really conservative, just MAGA social media platforms and Discord and Telegram right now. And the descriptions of the judges are increasingly heated and lurid and insane. They're doing this because they want to reduce the value of those lives so that crazy people will threaten and intimidate them. You've seen Trump's little shill from the White House briefing room podium engage in attacks on federal judges.
We have rogue judges that are destroying our country.
None of these judges has done anything even remotely in the vicinity of the range of the neighborhood of the universe of impeachable action. There are procedures by which to impeach a federal judge, to wit, Alcee Hastings. Those procedures involve actual corruption. Are you taking bribes? You're out. Are you drunk or drug using to the point where using drugs to the point where you cannot perform the functions of your job? You're out. Are you compromised in some other way? You're out. Did you help a friend or a family member illegally in a legal proceeding under which you had venue? You're out. None of these judges have done that. What these judges have done is looked at the law and the Constitution and the actions of Trump and Doge and Elon and said, again, to shorthand it, nah, bro. Why are they finding these decisions so readily? Judges appointed from the spectrum of Ronald Reagan to Barack Obama, why are they finding these, and even Donald Trump judges, by the way? Because what Trump and Musk are doing is blatantly illegal and unconstitutional at scale. Over and over and over again, the judges are saying, tell us what you're doing, tell us if it's legal, tell us how you've come to this conclusion, and we will make a ruling on your exercise of power. That is not out of the venue or the purview of federal judges. It is precisely their purview. It is precisely the ambit of these judges to determine if the actions of the executive and the legislative framing of those actions is constitutional. And right now, over and over again, they're finding that it's not. So Donald Trump, who is now completely in control of two branches of government, he completely controls the legislative branch because the Republicans are mindless husks who were once humans, and Chuck Schumer is a gutless coward who cannot navigate his way out of a wet and very flimsy paper sack. None of this should be coming to anybody as a surprise, because we are at a point right now where Trump has told us what he wants. He wants complete control of every branch of government. He wants complete control of all aspects of government. That is not a president, as you are aware. At that point, that's a monarch. That's a king. That's a strong man. That's a dictator. That's a deal. None of these things are American. You realize that, right? All of you understand watching this that America fought its first and arguably most important battle over the rights of its citizens to not be governed by a king. It was a beautiful moment in the Enlightenment where human liberty became an aspirational goal of a government. It wasn't perfect. It was flawed in 100 different ways. But the constitutional operating system that the founders hard-coded into this country set out three branches of government and the long history of precedence and governance in this country where the courts can look at an executive action and determine its constitutionality is not even debatable. It's not even in the realm of discussion. The courts have determined in this moment that Donald Trump and Elon Musk, with their illegal and unconstitutional actions, have to be constrained by the law. If you've stopped believing in the law, or if you want to try to, as National Review did yesterday, try to cleverly both sides it. Oh, sometimes judges issue liberal rulings that we don't like, and therefore Trump is fine. If you believe that, you don't believe in the American system. If you believe that, you don't believe in the republic. If you believe that, you don't believe in democracy. If you believe that, you don't believe in the Constitution. And if you believe that, you don't believe in the rule of law. And if you believe that the executive in America is all powerful, that the executive in America cannot be constrained or contained, if you believe that the executive branch of government is somehow not a co-equal branch, but a superior branch to the other branches of government, then all of your posturing about being a constitutional conservative, all of your chest beating about following the Constitution, the rule of law, all of your bullshit in your social media bios, 1A, 2A, strict conservative constitutionalist, is a lie. Now look, there are a lot of people around Trump now who are comfortable admitting what they want. They are comfortable admitting they seek a nation without law, except for the law of the word of the president. They're comfortable fighting for a nation that isn't America, but is defined by Donald Trump's whims and caprices and momentary impulses. They're comfortable with a country where the Justice Department and the FBI are weaponized as tools, not of upholding and enforcing the law, but of enforcing Trump's will. If you believe that, if that is where you are as a person right now in America, if you think that the law and judges, whether you agree with them or not, when they reach a legal determination, should be impeached or thrown off the bench or in some way removed or harmed, then you don't believe in America. If you disagree with a decision by a court, there is recourse for you. It's called an appeal. Donald Trump is going to appeal all of these decisions. These judges are making decisions based on good faith in the rule of law. They will go to the Supreme Court eventually. When they reach the Supreme Court, there will be decisions that the Supreme Court makes, even this court, that defy Donald Trump. Even this court that reject Donald Trump's ideas because they are illegal, because they are unconstitutional, because they are dangerous to the fabric of this republic. You should know that as the rhetoric against these judges rises, the chance of violence against them also rises. There's a very high comfort level in MAGA with violence. There's a very high comfort level right now with using either the official tools of the state against critics and real and perceived enemies of Donald Trump, or the tools of the mob against real or perceived enemies of Donald Trump. And I have a long history with this, guys. I spoke out against Trump beginning in 2015, started getting death threats in late 2015. They've never stopped. They've come and go. They flux back and forth. They go up and down, is what it is. And the idea that threats and intimidation work is sadly true. Doesn't work on me, because none of that shit works on me. But it works on a lot of people. It's worked on everybody in the US Senate. You know, Lisa Murkowski yesterday was out saying, well, we're just intimidated. No one wants to get taken out. Maybe you should want to say that I believe that America has a system of laws, that no man is a king, that Donald Trump's word is not law, that only the law is the law. Only the Constitution is the law. Only the commitment to following the rulings of judges you disagree with under a constitutional system, and if you disagree with them, appealing it, that's your recourse. Now, right now, the administration is on a very deliberate collision course with the courts. They have determined this is a great political play for them. They have determined that they're going to challenge rulings at every point. They're going to obstruct. They're going to be dilatory. They're going to be ridiculously, overly dramatic about how they interpret these things, and they're going to frame these judges as worse dangers to the country than you can imagine. Why is it that Fox has become red of tooth and claw in the last, week and a half about judges? Because they are running a program They are going to run a social campaign against American jurisprudence, left, right, and center, to devalue it, to dismiss it, to ignore it. And right now, if you look on social media, you will find hundreds of thousands of Republican posts right now. And yes, some of it's bots, some of it's bullshit, some of it's just disinformation, chat. But an awful lot of it is from people who were once serious conservatives making the argument, well, the courts don't do what we want, therefore we must do what we want. That resolves down to the old l'état c'est moi argument. You are not the state, Donald. You are not a monarch. You are not a king. You are not even a dictator yet. You would like it, but you are not. But the theme here, folks, is not about security, because there are objections to what these rulings that have come down. It's not about security. It's not about national security or your security. It's about Donald Trump's job security. So don't ever let them tell you that their theme is back the blue. They are believers in law and disorder. And that, my friends, is this week's elephant in the room.
Good night and good luck.